Do you like sweet potatoes? So do I, and they're so easy to grow. I planted 2 sweet potatoes and I ended up with almost 100 pounds of sweet potatoes when I harvested them. So go grab 2 organic sweet potatoes, and when you get back, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to get them started. I'll see you then.
All I have needs I have not provided.
Do you have your sweet potatoes ready? These sweet potatoes came from volunteer vines that grew all over my garden last year. You see, I let my garden rest once every 7 years for an entire year. And these came up volunteer because apparently the previous year I didn't find all the sweet potatoes. So when you get your sweet potato, there's usually going to be a longer end, and then there's going to be like a top. Here you can see easily that there's already some sprouts growing. These have been in storage for about 3 months, and it won't hurt to eat them like that, but we're going to use these to produce more sweet potatoes. So the first way to get them started is to get some toothpicks, and you're going to go about halfway, and you're going to put 4. Make sure they're even. This is so easy. And they make a beautiful vine if you want to just grow an extra one for your house and just let it vine around for a little distance. And then all you do is you be sure to put the sprouty end or this tip end upward and the longer end in the water. Just like that. Now I'm going to add more water so that it's almost to the rim. And then you just wait, and it will grow vines, and when the vines get to be about 12 to 18 inches long, then you're going to plant those in the garden. Just in case I forget to make a video about that, I'm just going to tell you real quick here. When you get a long vine, you're going to lay it longwise, just 2 inches up under the soil, and then from there it's going to grow, and it takes another 3 or 4 weeks before you start to see that growth come on. And then, boy, Katie bar the door, because they will take over your garden, and you can train them to stay in your bed. So there's method number 1. I prefer the method I'm about to show you because my experience is that I'm going to get a whole lot more vines quicker by this next method. There's a free PDF for you down below. Just click it, print it, and make your garden plans. This is an old blueberry barrel that we cut down to have some little sides on it, and it's filled with dirt from the garden, with leaves and some compost. And I call this my little nursery area, and it's where I get a lot of plants to start. It's located on the southern end of my home, and it's shielded from any harsh winds that could come across. And if I have threat of frost or freeze, it's easy just to cover it up and protect the plants that are coming up. So in this method, you don't have to worry about which end is what. I know I've got some sprouts started here, but later on there's also going to be sprouts along the whole length of this potato. One of the reasons I prefer this method is because it's faster. They just sprout leaves faster, and they start growing quicker. And I just want to get those sweet potatoes out in the garden beds as early as possible. Now, wasn't that easy? I prefer to put leaves over the top. The leaves help keep the moisture in the soil, I have basically sandy soil and it does dry out pretty quick, but I will be coming out here at least every other day and checking the soil and keeping it damp, not sopping wet, but damp. And pretty soon I will see some sprouts coming up. If you do the water method, you'll see roots first. Keep the water level up. If you do the dirt method, you'll see vines in 2 to 4 weeks too, so keep the soil moist. Let them grow until they're 12 to 18 inches long. Then you're going to plant them lengthwise. You want to leave it so that you can see leaves above the soil. Don't plant the whole thing under. They need the leaves to be exposed to the sunshine. Now keep them watered. In 4 to 6 weeks, they'll grow more vines and eventually spread out and cover the area. Be patient. It takes 4 to 5 months before you get good-sized potatoes, and they're all along the vines just under the surface. Then you're going to cure them for 2 weeks after you pick them, and you're going to store them in a cool, dry place. The other day, I went out to eat dinner with my aunt, and she ordered a sweet potato to go with her dinner. And I thought, well, there's a true Southern lady. And then they brought out the sweet potato, about 3 tablespoons of butter to go on it, and about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar to go on it, and she put the whole thing on her sweet potato. And I thought, well, there's a real Southern lady. And I thought, you're 85 years old and you can eat your sweet potato any way you want. When I had all those sweet potatoes to eat, I learned that you don't need anything but a little bit of salt on them. They are so good if you will just try it. Saves you calories, keeps your sugar from spiking, and honestly, it just goes a long way. You don't feel hungry for quite a long time. But then again, there's that sweet potato casserole that's good. There's sweet potato pancakes, sweet potato biscuits, sweet potato muffins, sweet potato soup, sweet potato pie. Well, I hope that was helpful. Did you know you have to plan it before you can plant it? Be sure to see my next video coming soon, where you'll get to see my own plans and I'll explain how and why I rotate my beds. Be sure to visit my Etsy shop. You'll find a garden journal that will become a living document that you will enjoy for years to come. There's children's lessons too.
Great is thy